right. Whew. Okay, so I'm not sure the audio worked on that, so we're just going to move forward. Keep going at this. All right, guys, welcome. Sonic Sphere Podcast, episode number 36. Something wild comes this way. This is episode number 36, recorded on Monday, January 4th, 2021. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
It's here.
It's here, right? 2020 is now hindsight. We are rocking and rolling in 2021. I can't believe it, but I'm excited. It's a great year so far, except for obviously what happened today. We're going to talk about that a little bit later.
We've gotten all that out of the way now, so we're not going to get any more problems for the rest of the year.
That's right. All right. So, and tonight we have very special guests, Doug Hale. We have members of the Queen of Midnight Project. Doug Hale, I think you're down at the bottom.
I'm there. Okay.
How it's arranged, yeah. You're right under Amy. Yep.
There you go. We got Rae Minor, who is
just Rae Minor. You can call her
Rae Minor. Sorry, Rae Minor.
Okay, Rachel
awesome.
works too.
Rae Minor, very cool. Now we have Penny McDaniel Murray, and of course Banister McMurray over here in this opposite.
That's perfect.
There we go, right there.
Change it.
Yes. And then I am, of course, your host, the Platinum Viking. I've got Julie too, hanging out down
the
here
bottom
in the
left.
other corner, doing our co-host with the mostest. So yeah, let's get going. We got a lot tonight for you. Of course, we're going to talk to these rock stars. And then we're going to rewind, look at music history for the week in the second half. And that, Julie, what do you got for us this week?
Well, it's been a journey. Okay, so not a lot of album releases this time of year because everybody had to push that out before Christmas, right? But we get to talk about, let's see, some riots in LA that gave Sonny and Cher a bad rap, along with how Louis Armstrong got his start. And the start of Sun Records in Memphis too, which is a cool story.
Nice.
So,
all right,
nice.
So we've got those stories for you. We're going to pause the music. We're going to look at what happened this week, including, remember, of course, children of Bodom's frontman, Alexi Laiho, and we are going to also talk about Metallica. It's got a new album coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the heaviest ever? We'll see. We're also going to talk about how vinyl is breaking records again. How about that?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
We're also going to talk about your 2021 metal and rock calendar for album releases is here. Got some exciting ones to talk about with you guys for that one. So very excited about that. And of course, fast forward. This is where we look at where music and the future come together. Tonight, we're going to talk about whether rock is dead or not.
No,
Gene Simmons might argue with you.
I know he would.
So we're going to talk about that with some Gene Simmons thrown in, a little kiss, considering they've just broken 2 Guinness World Book of Records.
Wow.
So
Nice.
There you go. So that's our episode wrap up for tonight. So let's get right into it. And let's talk to these rock stars. How we doing, guys?
Doing good.
Outstanding.
Great.
Thank you so much for having us.
Cheers.
All right. And again, sorry about all the craziness. I have to say, Banister, man, you are amazing walking us through all the tech stuff. Thank you so much in helping us figure all this out.
Yeah.
You guys look great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about music and what you guys have got going on. So, Doug Hale, this is kind of your baby, right? So you kind of started this. So tell us what this is. What is the project?
Okay. So this thing started, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't done a whole lot of original music, but I was just sort of sitting around one day and things just sort of started to come to me, and I just started writing about this kind of this concept, and just sort of it started with just sort of an idea of, this person, this girl, her name is Lucy, and, just she's, God, I don't even know how to describe this thing, because it's so, it's so fragmented. It started just basically like with her and her identity and kind of, a struggle that she was, trying to overcome. I don't know. Should I go? I feel like I don't want to explain all of it.
You don't want to tell it too much?
I guess I'd
Keep some secrets.
Yeah. We'll keep a little bit of secrets. But anyway, it's a concept album, and it's following her. It's following other characters around her.
It's like dark goth that you want to give a little bit.
Yeah. It's set in this, kind of, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons-y type period, right? It's, it's magical and it's nerdy and it's geeky and I mean, think Diablo. I mean,
Okay.
if you're an extreme geek, we're all extreme geeks here, so. But,
That's right. That's I always say, because this is a podcast about music, but we always get into geeky things. We always do.
Absolutely.
Well, you're with the right crowd, because.
Yes.
But yeah, so it started with her, and then that's when I got Banister involved, and he runs Notepad Studios, and of course Penny. There's one choice for Lucy, which is the just magical Penny. Her voice is incredible. She's an amazing musician. Banny's an amazing.
So who does
engineer.
What? Who's playing and what? Who's playing what? Who's doing what here?
Okay. So I'm doing the voice of Donovan, which is the male character that's counterpart to Lucy. Penny's doing Lucy. She's doing vocals. I'm doing guitar and bass, and of course, it's kind of the production and composition of the thing. And then Banny is doing drums. Although one of the tracks I had Mervyn Darrett, who's a drummer in another band that I play with. He did the drums for one of these songs. But yeah, it's basically just it started out with just the three of us. And then, like I said, it's been several years kind of start and stop. And then I got Rae involved because I saw her on Facebook and I listened to her music, and she's just an incredible writer. She's an incredible performer, incredible vocalist. So there's this third character, Rose, who is Lucy's mother. And so she has tracks, and she's an integral character of the whole thing. And, get the names confused. Rae actually, came on and because I was sort of because I can write a lot of music and guitar and all that kind of thing, but when it comes to lyrics and things like that, it's not my strong point. It is hers, and she just took, really what I was envisioning is maybe 2 or 3 songs, and was like, no, this is not 2 or 3 songs. This is going to be like a 9 or 10 song epic. Half part metal,
more of a trilogy. It's like Star Wars. You start with the first 3, and it's like, nah, it's gonna be like this.
Right. Yeah. She was like, this is where it's going, and so she's written entire tunes, as far as the lyrics, and we both collaborated on the music, and it's just a really, really fun, just kind of passion project between the 4 of us. And
nice.
Very cool.
So
now you guys have a few out, right? A few songs out right now. So what's out?
Yeah. So the songs that are out they're available on the Queen of Midnight page. So I guess there's going to be a link to that or whatever.
Yep.
But
so over here in the description for the live thing, you can see it down here. And then when we're on YouTube, of course, it'll be. Check it out. Oh.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. We had delay. Okay, there we go. We can
Okay,
go back. Okay, so go check it out.
Yeah, so we released 3 songs. Birthright, which is the first song in the series, and then Devil Born, which is the second, and then a song called Queen of Midnight, which is 6.
Yeah, chapter 6.
Yeah, number 6. So we're sort of, releasing them as we go. The rest of them will probably be linear, but I mean, who knows? But,
goes.
yeah, I mean, another fun part of this was engaging an artist to do the album art.
Mm.
And
Who did your album art?
oh my God, I'm going.
Brian LeBlanc.
Right, thank you, Brian LeBlanc.
Nice.
He's
Okay.
incredible. He's incredible. And it was a pretty tight timeline too. And he just like, it blows my mind. People like him, and artists in general, just able to just crank this stuff out.
Did you describe to him what you were looking for, or did you just let him run with it?
He heard the songs, of course, and we described in basic terminology, but he just had this like supernatural way of just internalizing it all. And he's just kind of like, I know what to do. Here's, what do you think about this? And it was just,
Oh, that's
it was
awesome.
perfectly right. It was one of those things where it was not hard. It's not work at all.
It's great artwork.
Yeah.
Like 3 of them in like 10 days.
Yeah.
Like 3
he did
different
that
song
literally in
title, like song cover.
album covers. Yeah.
Like 10 days. Insane.
So we're definitely going to keep working with him.
So where are you guys going to go with this? So you got to write a couple more. So got to put a couple more out.
Mhm.
You've got some out on YouTube. So like, where can people buy it on iTunes, or where can?
It's we did the DistroKid thing, so should be everywhere. It's on Amazon. It's on Apple.
Okay.
Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
you can get
Okay.
it to,
Yep.
And then, are you guys going to put an album together and then put that out? Have physical CDs? I mean, how are you guys going to kind of move forward with that?
I don't know. That would be
You thought
cool.
about it?
I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be cool to have it burned in vinyl, and
Yeah,
that's back in now, right?
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
We're gonna talk
we're
about that
to
later.
talk about that.
Yeah.
We're about to talk about that. Very cool. Alrighty. So what was the inspiration behind this? I mean, you said it was kind of a story you're telling. Was there any like bands or artists that influenced you to make this, or to the sound that you're going for?
I don't know. I've been asked that before, and I don't. It's hard to answer. I mean, I like Tool. I like a lot of '80s kind of rock stuff. I don't know. I know that's not a great answer to that question.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah, it
if
just
it comes to you and it just you go and you put it down and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all right. It's all right. I've had a lot of people that are like, it just comes to me. And
I mean the whole rock
put it
opera
down.
thing, like the Phantom of the Opera kind of. I mean, a lot of people, think that's cheesy or whatever, but it's just I don't know. It's just so
There's
cool.
nothing cheesy about it. It's great.
Right. Like Flash Gordon, for example, like Queen did this whole they did this whole thing with Flash, and it's just, I mean, that kind of thing is just so cool. It's just so awesome. And I guess I wanted to, just as I started, thinking more and more about it, I want, and Rae kind of inspired that as well, because I was sort of wanting to tone it down, and she was like, no, go humongous with it. And so that's where,
yeah. I mean, it's pretty epic. It's already pretty epic from what I've heard. So I'm excited to hear what more comes out now. And you've got some music videos out there. So are you going to do more with that? Are you guys going to go crazy and do like a whole movie? I see this as a movie. I think you guys could do a movie.
We have to complete the songs first and figure out.
Right.
I will tell you that in a project unrelated to this, Rae and I have dabbled in the music video business, and it turns out acting is hard. There's something to it. So we kind of tried something, and it sort of fizzled, or I don't know. We looked at it and we're like, I don't know. Do we really want to broadcast this out? So I don't know. I don't know about the music video thing. But
okay. Well, you never know. If 2020 taught me anything,
anything is
never
possible.
know, right? What you're going to get thrown into, and what you might be able to accomplish, including this podcast. Who knew? You know?
Yeah.
And we've got David Gamble, by the way, saying hi.
Hey,
Thank you
David
so much
Gamble.
for joining us.
Shout out to David.
We love David Gamble.
David Gamble is the absolute man. I mean, he's
Oh, yeah.
Love him.
Horns up, man.
played with him in
Yes.
Grey Sunday, and I mean, those guys are awesome, and he's awesome.
He
Yes,
can
yes.
sing
Now,
anything. Anything.
Is Grey Sunday still playing, or are y'all still doing that?
Well, they are to some degree. I'm not. I've taken the coward's way out, and I should say coward's way out, but I've been hiding for 2020 like a lot of people.
Gotcha.
But no, I think they're getting back into it, and I actually do think that Peter is going to do like a reunion
Okay.
for some of the original Grey Sunday group.
That'll be fun.
Later
go.
this year sometime.
There you go. And that's for you guys that don't know, it's a cover group, right? You guys do covers.
Yeah.
Wasn't there originals, or is it just cover?
There's occasionally one or two
Yeah.
originals.
Yeah, very, very occasional, but mostly it's just like super fun, just party music.
Party band.
Right, going to a
Party
bar and having a blast, and David Gamble.
What's your favorite songs to play?
My favorite songs to play?
Yeah.
Like with Grey Sunday, or just
Just in general, but yeah. What do you enjoy rocking out to?
Man, I love the 80s stuff. I really I love Def Leppard, just all the Guitar Hero stuff. I'm just,
Yeah, me too.
I'm a guitarist. I mean, at heart, I do like some of the newer stuff that's actually reminiscent of 80s. Like The Weeknd. But I'm mainly like the old school rock. Led Zeppelin.
Was this like old school Elvis or old school? Okay.
No, not that old school, I guess.
Okay.
Like 70s, 80s. Anything that you're gonna turn a guitar up and crank to.
I would totally watch or listen to you play some Elvis, by the way. What do you guys think?
Yes.
You should do it.
Elvis.
Oh,
do
baby.
it. Do it, man. Oh yeah, man.
did you get
Elvis
me
is
to have-
actually the guitar and the bass is actually really cool how they've written that stuff. It seems like it's super easy, but you get into it and you learn it, and it's like it's fun, but it's not like you just do on a note.
Mhm.
It's literally like boom beep beep boop boop beep beep boop beep
Right.
beep.
Sam Phillips had a lot to do with that.
And it's just everywhere, and I love it. It's great. Just like
Yeah.
that. Beep boop beep beep boop. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of those classic songs are that are almost cliche are a lot harder than
Yeah.
kind of realize.
That's
I
what
had
I'm
to do
saying,
that.
man.
I had to do that one time for Grey Sunday, and so I'd never actually learned the guitar solo to Sweet Home Alabama. I mean, it's such a campfire, whatever. Sweet Home Alabama. Man, that guitar solo is insane.
It's not simple at all.
No, it is not simple. That was a humbling moment, and I never really got it down. I could fake it.
Yeah. I mean, most people do. Most of that stuff is crazy too, or it's like multiple guitars, layered guitars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do a lot of that, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. So, you guys want to do shows with this? Where's this? Are you going to keep it in studio?
I have
don't
this picture, once it's all done, this, album release party, and I am playing the keys and with the songs or whatever, with Rose's character as certain, but somebody else would play Rose, and she'd be up there all opera, and it's we're rocking and the keys, and he's doing the guitar, and someone else is playing Donovan, and Penny would have to still play Lucy. The thing is, she's not tied behind anything, so she could just go out there with that long hair and ride a horse and across,
Oh,
suburban. I don't know. And
we have wild fantasies. Of all
I was
kinds.
gonna say, man.
this whole
It's like a castle,
I could see it.
Yeah.
Penny, we
Yeah.
have to clear the horse ahead of time. Be sure you can walk in there with the hood.
I'll be the horse.
Oh my
There
god.
you go. Well, that
Oh
just
my
went in a
God.
whole nother
Right.
direction.
Right.
That picture
We're not
that
doing
you guys
porno
posted,
here.
that you posted or whatever with the horsey tail.
That's great.
Remember?
That's great. So let's say you guys are like, we're going to take this. We've got this grand idea. We're going to do all this, and money is not an issue, and COVID is not an issue. What would be like your dream tour? Who do you guys want to go? Who would you want to play with? Where would you want to go on tour with?
Man, who do I want to go?
Blackmore's Night would be mine. I love
Who?
Blackmore's Night.
You know, that is so perfect. That we would be a perfect fit with Blackmore's Night.
Yes.
Yes. It would
Which
just
they're
be-
actually got new music coming out next year.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
can't
an
wait.
opportunity.
New album.
What a great.
Well, I'm a
Hey,
Celtic. I
not
love
bad.
Celtic music, so and I'm kind of one of
Me
these
too.
weird spiritual type people, and so the Scandinavian and the Scottish and all that kind of stuff is my roots, where I love to go in my little special place. So, but I think they would be great for our.
That'd be a good
vibe.
fit.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Just
I
think.
have no idea who they are.
It's a blank check. You can do wherever. Where would be like the ideal venue? Would you want to hit?
Suburban.
I hope you're not talking about the one in Kennesaw.
The go-to, man. You can't go wrong with Suburban.
It's
You're
really
right.
Big enough to fit a
Vanny.
horse in it?
I was
It's
gonna
really
say,
small.
A horse.
I was like, I don't know how that's
You
going
can
to
make it
Great
one horse,
people.
but no people.
Great
Well, I
talent,
mean-
great people. It's a little small.
I mean, Banister said he'd be the horse, so you don't have to worry about a full-size
I'm in.
horse. I mean,
Oh my
Now
plenty
he
of
needs a
room
costume.
if that's the case.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like it's kind of it's super dark and gothic and medieval.
I think it'd be cool at the Fox Theater.
Yeah.
You guys did
Yes.
it there.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Something like that with like lots of sort of plush kind
Lots
of
of lots like-
Victorian.
What do you
Yeah.
call
Theater
it?
of the Stars would be perfect for that.
See, we can
Yeah.
But
dream
no, the
big.
lights
Already
that explode.
set.
What do you call those? What do you call exploding lights? Like on the stage, like all the bands have
all the
them.
pyrotechnics.
Yes, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. There you go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like smoke and
I might scare the
lasers
horse,
and
though.
lights.
Banister, like
A
stay
horse
put.
running across the street.
Exactly.
Maybe a
Boats.
dragon.
Right.
We can
Yeah.
hire the
Alligators.
medieval knights to come out. And
Well, then you have to have a
Totally.
dragon if you have knights.
Totally. That's
You could
that's
do-
what it means. Yeah.
That's kind
could
of
do
our
what,
vibe, though. Seriously, that's where we're at.
Yeah,
what's
I
that-
mean, you could
what's-
do
What's the restaurant? What's that restaurant where they do
Medieval times.
Yes.
medieval times. Yeah.
Medieval times.
They're
I know
already
all about
outfitted
this
for
kind of
it.
stuff. Just come
You got
on.
the castle.
We would destroy. We would kill at medieval
I just
times.
want one of those turkey legs.
I think you're right.
You know, there's been a run on turkey legs because nobody's at medieval times, so there's too
I've
many
never,
turkey legs out there
I've never
right now.
eaten something like that, but just the idea of while wearing the horns, watching this, show, I pay for
Knights
that.
could battle while we play.
I was gonna say you have a blank check,
I'll just
so we could do
play
this.
piano with one hand and eat a
Yeah.
turkey leg with the other.
Oh yeah, there you go, perfect. It's, or just glide. They've got where you can fly. They took you up, they fly you around. You can just play keys while you're doing that.
The horses or the turkeys or the
Both,
legs.
all of them.
The horses are going to fly too.
What are we talking
Turkeys go
about?
flying. Horses go
Well,
flying.
turkeys can kind of fly.
The horses following the turkeys.
They can
I don't know. This has gone crazy. Y'all are crazy people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Make
people.
this foursome. That's where we're pretty much this way.
Oh, here we go back in that direction again.
Oh my
watch these
God,
guys.
you
can watch
started
these
it.
kids.
Yeah.
He started it.
Not my fault.
I mean, I usually walk into that trap too. So
I was gonna say Julie's great at it.
they just set up a trap and I walk into it every single time. It doesn't fail.
Love it.
Yes. All right, and we also have Seth Hill. Good to see you, my brother, another bass friend, good bass brother of mine.
Hey.
Love to have you on here. Hell yeah. All
Hi,
right.
Seth.
Do we have anybody else? Yeah, got a few more. No, we lost some because of the earlier stuff. That's okay.
Mm.
All right. So what final thoughts? what do you want to tell people? What do you want to tell people about your music? What do you want people to get out of this?
You know, for me, and I think for all of us in the group, it's a fun fantasy kind of escapism type thing, and you know, just check it out, and you know, have an open mind and listen to it, and thing where you know we're trying to just take you to a different place. You know, it's different than a lot of the other stuff that's out there right now, and you know, just kind of go along for the ride.
Cool.
All right.
That's
get
right.
Some candles,
Yeah.
light
Right.
some candles.
Go all
have a dark
out.
room. Put the music on. Do what you're supposed to do.
When you listen to
an
a piece of
album,
music for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right,
the
just
story
immerse yourself
itself
in it.
is beautiful. I think the storyline is beautiful. And Doug, I have to say this, Benny and I have known him for almost 2 decades now. He's like a brother to us. And the difference in how I saw him as a musician like 5 years ago versus what he is today, as far as his talent of writing and his talent of singing, because he never would sing in my band, Hypocrite. He was my guitar player. And I have a pretty good ear, and I kept saying, Doug, you need to sing. And he was like, I know. And so finally I got him to where he would sing a few songs with us. And then, of course, when we disbanded a couple years ago, he started Skeleton Crew, and I went and started a 60s, 70s folk rock. I'd have a band called Hourglass. And, but it was just the transformation and watching him, because he's brilliant. This man is... as far as music, he is a perfectionist. He knows his stuff. He comes prepared. And if you have a bad day, he'll say, I hear a clam. Just like that, because he knows his music. So he's a brilliant artist. He really is. And he's a good guy.
Awesome.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's true.
Very cool, man.
Oh.
Very sweet.
Anything else? Anybody else wants to add?
Doug's great. I'll just
You
stay
know,
with that.
Banny, we need to plug Banny a little bit, because Banny runs a recording studio, which is about to come back to life because COVID's about
Very
to go
cool.
away.
I was going to
It
say,
looks
it looks
brilliant
really
right now.
amazing back
And he's
there.
there, and he is Banny's a trained audio engineer. He went to school for this stuff. I mean, he's a live sound master. He's a studio
He's
master.
badass.
Yeah, I went to school for it. I got a college degree from Ohio University, and also did a stint at the recording workshop. So I got 2 degrees, and didn't get a job in any of it. So now it's kind of like this hobby that's freaking awesome, and I had to get a real job to pay the bills. But you know, do have a studio right here, and it's humble, but Doug's been able
was
to.
The studio name again.
The Notepad.
Notepad.
Like,
That's cool.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
he runs sound also for a lot of bands in the area.
Yeah. Live
Okay.
Yeah.
sound around.
Love
That's why I
bands.
plugged Suburban. I end up there way too much. But
Played
several
there many
bands all over.
nights, man.
Yeah.
Many times. It's a good place.
But
But
Dave's
there's
good
so many
guy.
good artists there. I mean, it's small, but there's some really
Yeah.
great talent. Really great talent.
It's a fun
to go through
place.
there. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
They've got just a cool built-in crowd that is, you know, they're just
Yeah.
cool people there.
I need to
that-
get back up there, man.
Hmm.
I
I
know.
just wish it wasn't like an hour from me.
I know. Yeah, that's a brutal drive at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's done that many times.
After the COVIDs go away, Amy, if you're playing out, I'd love to run sound for you.
Dude, yeah, man. I always need sound people. Right now, I'm pretty much rerun all our own sound, which is good and bad. You know, you save the money, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes you just want to go play. You don't want to have to do this and that and deal with
Right,
this and
right.
do this and that. And that's all this stuff. So, yeah, man. All right. And check it out, too. If you guys out there want to hire a sound man, we got
Oh, yeah.
Banister Murray. I'm going to add his info down here. It's in all the info. And Notepad Studio. So check that out. And of course, the band, of course, called Queen of Midnight Project. Got all that info and links down there for you guys. When's the next drop? When's the next song drop? Do we have one?
You want to take this?
I don't know. We're like, I would say
Coming
we're
soon.
like 90. Yeah, soon. About 90%.
2021.
Yeah.
It's coming 2021.
We're waiting on Lucy
Right.
to get her parts right.
Right.
Well, it's like that rock opera. It's like a 7-minute song, but it goes. There's just so much.
I love this one, Rae. This one is beautiful. Bedeviled is.
It's called Bedeviled. Thank you. So
beautiful.
we actually are all three singing it. So the ones that we've had little parts in it, but there's mostly been one character that's been the focus of the lyrics or whatever. But this is just, it's this whole dream state where it's communicating.
It's beautiful.
Some added complexity to it is because of COVID, and we're all doing this stay home. So we're exchanging tracks across, Dropbox and trying to sync things up. And technically we're getting through the technicalities, but there's some emotion of being in the room with the same person when you're being creative in it. I'm not sure how to get around that. We're doing the best. I think we've got good results, but man, this COVID thing put a monkey wrench in everything, didn't it?
It did, and I think it helped us think outside the box.
Yeah,
in some
exactly.
ways too. So
I've had to become an amateur Reaper engineer. So that's been a challenge, but I think I'm over the learning curve just about.
Yeah,
I don't want to say this is our year though. Doug and I were, so he's helping. So I started working with Banister and Doug and with my album, and this was before November-ish of what was that? Was that 2019? God, it is 2021 already. But anyway, so Doug and I said come 2020, this is going to be our year. He's going to finish his album. I'm going to finish my album. Woohoo! 1 year to do all of it, and then So 2021, could it be our year? I don't know.
By the way, Bree Fox is asking Pro Tools, and I'm assuming she's asking what Banny runs in his.
Yeah, I use Pro
Banny's
Tools.
the Pro Tools guy. Yeah.
I use Pro Tools. I also have Ableton Live that I mess around with some live stuff, and I do have several of the other DAWs installed. So if somebody wants to trade, sessions, I can open them up and figure it out. I learned Pro Tools for years, so I kind of know it. It's my go-to, and I like them all. They all have, they're good things. So.
yeah.
Hi, Bree.
Yeah.
I know Bree's done your
Bree Fox
a few times. Yeah, she's amazing.
Toxic Foxtrot. Thank you for joining us.
Great fun.
She's been on air a couple times. We just had her recently. Actually, that was a lot of fun.
She's amazing.
Hell yeah,
she is a lot of fun.
I love Bree. Good to have you. Good to see you. Happy 2021. Thank you. Yes. All right. So we're actually at the point where you guys got to go through the Gauntlet of Fire.
Oh, right.
The most fun part.
Yes.
All right.
This also applies to you guys out there in the chat room. You guys can participate and answer the questions. Just type them in the comment box.
And we'll share.
We'll share
So
those.
they're not individual questions for us. It's just
There's a
Well, they
group-
are for you, but if our audience would like to interact, they can too.
so I can check what they're saying and give you the right answer. Okay.
No, you can't cheat. Don't cheat.
No cheating.
There's only
Much of a delay.
one question
You're
that
cheating.
you
That's
actually
true.
might have to know what it
All right.
actually is, but everything
Okay.
else is all on you.
It's your answer.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I'm an old
All right. So we have to figure out your stripper names. Everybody differently. All right. Let's start with Penny. What was the name of your first pet?
Blackie.
All right. And what was the name of the street you grew up on?
White Crest.
So you are Blackie Whitecrest.
I love it.
That's great.
Spread and love. That's all
All right, Banister, what you got?
All right. My first pet was Rambuck.
Oh, even. Oh,
What the
perfect.
hell? Rambo.
Perfect. All
And the
right.
street, this is bad because it's State Route 63.
So it's
Doesn't
Ram
really-
Butt 63.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
it.
Terrible. Have a name.
What a stripper name.
It's quite a stripper name.
Give me
You have
some
to guess
money.
what the 63 means.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Doug, what you get?
First pet was Pepper, and the first street was what was the first street? Oh, maybe Mountain Brook Circle. So maybe Pepper Mountain.
Pepper Mountain Brook.
Circle.
Not to
Brook?
boast. I mean, you know, I
Pepper
like
Circle.
Brook.
I like Pepper.
I think Pepper
Circle.
works.
Yeah.
Brook.
You can be male or
Brook.
female. It goes either way.
All right.
All right. All right. Ray, it's your turn.
So like my first pet that was my own pet.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Miyagi,
Mm.
a cat.
Already
So-
starting off great.
I know it's already bad, but that's true. And street would be Foster. So Mr. Miyagi Foster.
Or Foster.
So
Mr.
sexy.
Miyagi.
What a turn on, right?
Oh,
I think it'd be a pleasant surprise after mentioning that name, though. I come out. It's not some hairy chest, you know. No offense to hairy chest, like whatever.
Okay.
There you go. All right. We have Sarah Lancaster. Tara Lancaster. saying hi.
Tara.
Glad to see you.
Hi, Tara.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I think we've already done Julie's, but we haven't
Mhm.
done it in a while. So what was yours again, Julie?
My first pet's name was Oliver. I called him Ollie. I lived on Lindell Street, so Ollie Lindell.
Oh,
It's like a country singer, not a stripper.
Oh.
Yeah. I had two cats. One was Sherry and one was Crystal. And I lived on Royal Abbey Drive. So usually it's Crystal Abbey or Sherry Royal.
There you
Yeah,
go.
those
Very royal.
fit.
Nice.
There you
Nice.
go. I got the
So wait,
two.
one's the stripper, one's the porn star?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right. Stripper by day, porn star by morning. That's it. Yeah, I coined those names. Nobody take those. It's mine. All right. Okay, now that we know everybody's names. All right. Okay, so this is kind of, I don't know, not a funny one, but we are saying goodbye to 2020.
We are.
What are you the most happy to say goodbye to?
Anybody goes first? I'll go first.
Anybody?
I'll
Yeah,
go first.
jump
All
in.
that, all the mail and email and text messages and even phone calls about, have you voted yet? Are you going to
Mhm.
vote? You should vote for
Yes.
these people. The people that come and knock on your door and ask you, you going to vote for? So I'm ready for it. But that's not really 2020. It kind of is, but it's every 4 years. It comes back.
Yeah.
That's
All
what
right.
I'll do.
Anybody else?
Amen.
Yes.
I'm gonna miss being. I will not miss hugging and being around people that you enjoy laughing with and hanging out with, and just feeling the human experience with. This isolation sucks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It really
Okay, and
does.
sooner than later, we'll get back to what we were doing before.
Yep.
Yeah, I think just on the same lines, the isolated music making is just that, I took that for granted. I really did before
Yeah.
I lost all human contact and being there, because it's just not the same. Doing music by yourself versus doing music with people you love and your friends, and
Yeah.
so I'm very, very happy to see that on the horizon.
Amen, brother.
All right. Yeah. All right, Ray, you're the last one. You got
Oh,
something?
okay, great. What am I happy to say goodbye to? Like, I don't even have an answer. Continuous disappointment with every morning. It's 2020. It's just, I'm glad it's just,
What?
But
Just
then
say goodbye to the year.
By
Everything.
the whole year.
yeah,
there you go.
but I did like the memes. I will miss the memes. The 2020 memes were by far the best. So I'm happy to
Yeah.
say goodbye to 2020. I'll miss the memes.
All right. Okay. So, all right. Let's keep going. And let's see. All right. Here we go. This is good. All right. So tell me something about yourself that people would think that you completely made it up, but it's 100% true.
Banister's a horse. Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry.
No, perfect.
People think I made it up.
Yeah, it's like,
Well,
so
tonight for me is a perfect example. If you don't mind, I go
Go.
first.
Yeah.
But
go for it.
technology hates my soul. And I'm telling you, these bugs we've had tonight, if I had not been here, I would be one
I
of
know.
the
I think it's
that you would not have had
between me and
that
you.
Oh,
Because
she's that way. Whatever.
It's true. I swear to God. And people that I worked with in the past and stuff, they would say, you used to say that, but I never believed that until I worked with
until
you.
it happened.
Yeah,
I
so
do
that's
that.
Probably mine.
I've walked into a studio, by the way, Banister, so just so you know,
Okay.
and completely fried every computer in the entire studio, and they could not get it to work. This has happened several times on recording sessions.
Wow.
Where they've literally had to do a complete rewipe and a reinstall.
Oof.
We can't be friends, Amy.
So, I've also blown up like 6 amps.
Oh, man.
Especially anything that has tubes doesn't do well for me. I think I've destroyed 3 digital pedals. They still don't know what happened. Very good at it. Very good at destroying things. All right, who else? Who else has got something, man?
I'm an airplane pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's
That's
awesome.
something.
Got my private pilot license a long time ago. And went up and flew my wife Cynthia around, and she was a super good sport too, and really proved that she had faith in me. But
Yeah, that's after how many hours?
Of training. How many training hours do you have to get your license?
When I think the minimum was like 40, but I had like 100 because I was doing it over the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get, I would get all unrusty, and then I would go back to work for a week, and then the weekend would come along, and I would forget everything I'd learned, and then so I kind of
So it
like
took longer.
spaced it out, yeah. But yeah, at the end of it, all that took about 100 hours or so.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's cool. All right.
So
What else we got?
okay, I'm not gonna go last, Banister, because I keep going last, but it's good. Not last. The country.
No, no.
So by the time I was 23, I've been.
Okay, there we go.
That's 48 states, and I played in almost all of them, and I've slept in probably 3/4 of them. But the really cool part about it is I was in Vegas, and the members of Journey were auditioning a new singer, and they were auditioning him after I played. I got to play in front of Journey.
Story.
Come on, Zoom. Come on.
My
Banister,
turn.
your turn.
You guys all synced back up? No.
All right. Hold on.
I think we are. Let's give it like 5 seconds.
Yeah, Zoom is
Okay.
Not our friend today.
where we're having some internet unstabilities.
How many
I think
fingers?
we're all with it now.
All right, we're in sync.
3-ish.
Something people
All right,
won't know about me. Won't believe. Nope.
Nope.
I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Nope.
you do eat wild caught turkey and
Okay.
fish.
Only wild turkey?
Only wild turkey.
Wild caught.
Yeah. Don't eat meat.
Wait, are you serious about the wild turkey or the wild turkey? Like, I want to
got
know
it
what you're
back.
talking about.
No, we
Because we're
All I hear is
you can go catch a turkey and a wild one and cook it, or you can,
not factory farm is what we're trying to say. That's what.
but not liquor either.
Oh, I can liquor.
Okay.
We're back for that.
Yeah.
Nope, she is over here.
There we are.
Baby, come back.
Hey,
You can
Hey, guys.
on me.
hey.
There we are.
Hi.
Welcome to the
like we
show.
just met again. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Tech Gods Hate Me show.
Okay.
It's been
Okay.
great though.
All right, we're gonna keep going.
Let's
you
do
know,
it.
That's
Still
what
fun.
it is.
It's still fun.
This is what it is. Welcome to 2020, 21 Tech. Continue from 2020. I don't know. Okay, all right. So if you guys were arrested
We're
for
arrested.
no
Okay.
reason,
No reason.
but what would everybody think you got arrested for?
What would their assumptions be?
What did they
I think
assume
people
you
would
got arrested
assume it was possession.
Just
Are you being possessed?
Wouldn't be the hair down his ass or anything, right? A dead giveaway.
Good grief. Sound engineering.
I'm just being silly.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
goodness.
I haven't had that one yet.
No.
Nobody has said possession. So you're
Oh my
first.
Yeah. Achievement unlocked.
Yes. All right. What else we got?
Who's next?
Doug?
I don't know. Maybe hacking. I'm a software engineer. That's what I do.
Cyber crimes.
Yeah, probably something on the. I clicked on
White collar cyber crimes,
something. Yeah,
black hat stuff.
probably something along those lines.
Yeah.
Banisters is more interesting.
Is it?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it depends on what you're doing.
Depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. He hacked a porn site. No, that would be cooler.
All right. What else?
Penny, what are you arrested for?
I'm kind of the Pollyanna of the group. So I'm an animal activist. So anybody that knows me, if they saw my locked up, it's because somebody was hitting an animal or doing something stupid, and I beat the crap out of them in front of everyone. So it probably
Assault.
that.
Assault and battery?
Salt battery.
Yes, salt and
Salt
battery.
battery.
Yeah, for a good cause.
Yes. We have David Gamble also said possession of a controlled substance. So he agrees.
Yeah.
Yep.
Were we talking about a
It's two
different
of
kind
them.
of possession?
Yeah, I started saying, is he David? Are you talking about me?
Here you go. All right, Ray, you're last.
Oh, it is my
Last again.
it's like, okay, drunk in public. Everyone's like, yeah, that's right. Like, it's not even like, that's not even funny. Like,
Drunk and disorderly Ray.
yeah, she started crying uncontrollably and like, trying to, get a cop to hold her, and he said no, and he put her in handcuffs, and then, but I'm just drunk. I mean, not now, but like, yeah, that's not public.
Yes, awesome. Okay, awesome. All right, well, if you guys could all have a barbecue at your house, and you can hire any band or any artist, dead or alive, and you can describe how you want them, who would you hire to have a barbecue with you?
Oh, not to eat them.
Are they gonna play, or are we
No,
gonna
not going to
I
barbecue.
thought
Then
you
you're going to
like,
enjoy the barbecue
grill
with them.
Oh, never mind then.
So
I
if you
was-
invite to your barbecue party,
Weird Al Yankovic.
yeah, you'd be
We saw
fun.
him one time. It was really fun.
Yeah,
I saw him
he's
at
crazy.
a amusement park. I forget what it was, somewhere in South Georgia or something, or Alabama. And it was the most crazy music park. And then add Weird Al on top of that. It was the weirdest day. It was the weirdest experience I think I've ever had. Because I'm like riding the roller coaster and you see Weird Al and he's doing some weird shit over there and you hear it and you're like, okay, whoop, oh, what the hell? Oh, okay, that was a weird, very weird. I've seen him twice like that at some weird. I was riding the kiddie pool, like the kiddie, whatever the cups are, spinning cups.
Tilt-a-whirl.
Listening to Weird Al as you're going on a spinning cup is a magical experience.
Hmm.
All right, what else we got?
Mine would be George Harrison. I'm still secretly in love with. He's my favorite Beatle. So, and I'm a folk singer, so he does folk ballads and rock and roll. So I love him very much. George Harrison.
Right on.
Nice. Now, would he be like still alive, or would you do like zombie?
No,
George
he would
Harrison?
definitely be alive.
zombie Harris?
I would want him alive. I would say that.
No, I would have to go with like a Metallica or a Queen's Reich, or just one of those over the top hair bands.
Poison.
Poison would be a great barbecue band. Yeah.
Yeah, like Twisted Sister.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
so
what I
hard.
was trying to think
It's
of.
so hard to choose.
All right, for you guys out there on live land, we dropped you guys, but for
Yeah, I was just checking
everybody
it myself.
on the podcast half, we're still live, we're still rocking and rolling, and of course, this will be up for you guys to see.
On
And-
YouTube.
Yep, on YouTube. So you'll be able to catch all of this, all this ridiculousness. If we can't get you back on Facebook Live, it just isn't working tonight. Dang it, Penny. Dang, Amy. You're probably
it's time for me to
the worst. You're the worst. Worst one so far.
You'll never forget
Worst-
me, Amy.
worst
You'll
one.
never forget me.
All right, Julie, you got a question for these guys.
You asked him.
What?
I think you asked him, right?
No, the food one?
Oh, you want to do that one? Okay.
Oh, or whichever one you want to ask.
So you have an opportunity to, at no detriment to your own health or anything like that, you're going to rebuild the food pyramid. What is the first food at the base of this pyramid that doesn't have any repercussions on your health anymore because you turned it upside down?
Penny should take that one first.
Before you turned it upside
Is
down.
the food pyramid the most important stuff? Is the base, and then the
Yep. And the top is you don't really
I
need
love
it.
how nobody knows this part, actually.
But you're changing it so you can put anything wherever you want to put it, and you're not going to get sick from eating ridiculous stuff either. So what goes first?
I'm going with chips and salsa.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. It's my favorite snack.
This is not even a
I
hypothetical
like queso and
question.
I was
guacamole.
going to say, is this a real one?
I started saying,
Queso.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
guacamole would be mine.
And queso.
Okay,
All right, now I'm hungry. I'm gonna.
I'd have to go sushi at the very
Oh,
base,
that's good too. Yeah.
and then just graduate into junk food like pizza and Taco Bell.
I think
The cheesy gordita crunch is a work of art. I will
It is.
tell you.
Damn good.
And I put some of those away during 2020. My God. So I've got a date with the elliptical. But yeah, I would say Taco Bell, pizza, and sushi in some sort of combination.
Not
All
together.
right. Well, I mean,
on different
Why
days.
not?
Sushi tacos.
You only live once.
Pizza, sushi.
mm,
What about you, Ray?
I've had that actually.
pizza sushi.
It's
It's all in the presentation, I guess.
deep
but-
fried, and then they put it's
Oh,
like deep fried with
Tempura.
cheese and like cream cheese on the inside.
Pizza, sushi.
Oh,
I don't know, whatever.
God.
Yeah,
Sounds
deep
good.
fried.
We're all getting hungry right now.
Yeah, it's food time.
Yes. All right.
Sushi is
I think.
amazing.
Let's see. Anybody else? Ray?
I mean, I don't. I'm very confused by the whole pyramid description. So, is it like what I like the most can be like? What
So
is
the
least-
food pyramid tells you what your more important parts of your diet. It's like grains are at the bottom, and then your vegetables and fruits, and then your meats, and then your fats and sweets are on the top, or something like that. So, but you can change this thing now. So, what's the most important?
like prime rib. I like prime rib with like
Goes
the
on the
straight
bottom.
horseradish sauce, like some rare prime rib, straight horseradish dipped in au jus with like some blanched green beans and like I'm getting hungry. And like a chopped salad on the side. Like I don't know, like
Just throwing it all in there, man.
and then like a chocolate cake. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Be
The whole
like
favorite
a
meal
No
goes on the bottom.
repercussions. You should
steak
No, no
and a
repercussions. No,
salad
you're not going to pay for
and the
it.
cake on top. Oof. Y'all ain't right. All right. Okay. All right. So we're almost done with the first half. We got a couple more questions to put you guys through. Number 9 question. What do you think a rat liquor is? Cannot look it up.
I know what it is.
Okay. Then you got to be quiet.
All right, I'll be
Yeah, you have to go
All right, so
last.
everybody else. What's a rat liquor? What do you think it is?
It's not like Mad Dog 2020, that shit stuff.
That's a good one.
That's a good answer.
Okay.
Good answer. No whammies. Good answer.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I want to say this had something to do with maybe the Black Plague,
Mm.
Yeah, kind of.
God,
where
that's dark.
somebody was like, I don't know, rat liquor. It was like I don't know why anybody would be. I mean, they blamed it on rats, right?
That's the
So-
liquor
They
we
did.
had?
But
Actually,
it
it
was
was
something.
the fleas on the rats.
Right,
Rats
that's
just
right.
carried the
Yeah.
fleas, but yeah. All right,
But
That was,
Penny.
that was the right answer.
I
What
don't
do you
know.
think the rat liquor is,
I
Penny?
have
Close, but
no
no.
idea. I mean,
Take a stab.
being Pollyanna, oh, the little rat's gonna lick me.
Oh,
Okay. Ooh, that took a
I mean,
weird
that's like
turn.
Julie's answer.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
What's a mother
Julie,
rat and
we
lick
can
it?
be friends.
I see.
I thought it was like a comfort object. You're like a thunder jacket.
Exactly.
No idea.
I think we lost them again.
No, where are you
No.
here?
There they are. There they're back.
Okay, there you are.
What is it?
Right, Banister.
Oh, yeah. So what I think it is, it's people during the Black Plague that didn't believe it, so they licked rats and they were called rat lickers. They would intentionally try to, do the thing with the rat to get the disease they didn't believe
Okay.
in.
A bug chaser.
Bug
You're
chaser.
close,
Very close.
Okay. All right. I'm very
but
close.
that's not it.
All right.
So it would be like people looking.
right. It's actually a modern term that has come around very recently,
Are you going to tell them?
inspired by 2020, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
Gotcha.
You got to look it
It's
up.
Mad Dog.
Don't tell the
2020, right?
audience.
I'm looking it up right now.
So y'all got to figure it
Is
out.
this on Urban Dictionary?
Mhm.
Can't look it up right now. All right. Okay, and final question is, you have to choose your quarantine house. This is the place you're going to spend the entire quarantine period if we were shut back down.
Ugh.
Like, you have to spend it in the house with these 3 things. Now you must choose what house you're going to be in. Okay. House number 1, you can have cocaine, hookers, and Gary Busey. That's an interesting house. House number 2, very popular. This one is going to be shrooms, Legos, and Johnny Depp.
I'm thinking of somebody right now.
Number 3 is going to be marijuana brownies, Nintendo Wii, and Betty White.
Oh, she can go in any of the rooms.
Number 4.
And-
House number 4.
Oh,
Alcohol, Trivial Pursuit, and Sean Connery. By the Fire.
Sean Connery
House.
alive in this scenario.
You nasty
Up to you.
girl.
It's up to you. So, starting with Penny. What's your house?
My. Johnny Depp, Betty White, and oh gosh. I love Betty White. She's fantastic. She's freaking hilarious.
So Betty White was in the house with the
So it's
With
Betty
marijuana
White
brownies and Nintendo
marijuana
Wii.
brownies.
But you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
on what was that? Medieval that Sean Connery was so good in.
So he did the Highlander. I don't
He
know if
did?
that's what you're talking about.
No, it was
And then the one
it
where
was one of Camelot's. It was one of the
he's been in a bunch. He was a talking
Yeah,
dragon
yeah.
guy.
so him and Johnny Depp and Betty White, they got all 3 of them.
You can't pick them all.
I know,
Can't
but
pick
it was
them all.
like
It's
the
not-
first
this is not
night
a
or
threesome
something.
I
house.
could just have
You
3
only have
people.
one.
and-
Penny, was it the first night? Penny.
First night. Oh yeah, that.
Is that
night.
it?
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep. Good job. Yeah.
But you know what? I'd have to go with Betty White. I love her. She's
All
hilarious.
right.
She
so
would make me
house
happy.
number 3. Very
Yeah.
popular as well.
Yeah.
All right. Banister.
Yeah. So you had me with the mushrooms and whoever, but Betty White and the marijuana. That sounds pretty good too. So I'm going with that one.
So,
And Penny will be there too, so that's fun.
there you go. All right.
And so Betty White. You guys will have so much fun.
I know. 3-way with Betty.
We're still kids.
I know. Get brownies. It's going to get real freaky down there. All right,
You
Doug.
can tell we've been together 21 years.
I think I got to go with
Yeah.
Sean Connery and Trivial Pursuit.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, you're the first one for house number 4.
Okay.
First
Yeah,
one ever.
I love Sean Connery and just the movie Hunt for Red October.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
classic.
Just the greatest, one of the greatest
Yes.
spy movies ever.
One ping only, Vasily.
One ping
only.
Dude, don't even get. Don't. We'll be sorry. We will wreck this podcast. Man.
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, it's already wrecked. Dude, we started off wrecked. This thing was already wrecked. All right, so house number
Right.
4.
But that was
Yeah,
4.
what's your
I need to know. Okay, so 3 had Betty White, marijuana brownies, and Wii.
Nintendo Wii.
Okay, and he had Trivial Pursuit and Sean Connery.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. All right. So okay. All right. So it's in the running. And what's the second one? Johnny Depp.
Second one is Shrooms, Legos, and Johnny Depp.
That would be fun. Anxiety. That would be so. I'd be like anxiety. And the first one.
Cocaine, hookers, and Gary Busey.
Are there any
Damn,
repercussions?
an entire year.
I mean,
An entire
you're
year.
in there for the quarantine period.
Yeah.
Number 1 is hard.
I know.
Depends on what you want.
You know what? No, like one Gary Busey. Like he's like the most. Like, I don't want him. I don't
Go, house number 1. It's done.
Yep.
Locking you in there.
Rock and roll.
It's just like as a friend.
It's done.
Yeah.
Number 1. She can have the party.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
That's where the party's going to be. That's it.
I think Gary Busey and Betty White, they'd be so cute.
So house number 1, also not many people pick that one. So, you'll have them all to yourself. Oh yeah. All right. All right, guys. Anything else? Jolie, you want to ask a final Gauntlet of Fire question?
I think we'll end on that. That's pretty good.
We'll end on that.
It's good.
All right, so we're going to end on that. So we're going to do our intermission. 10 minutes, we'll be back. We have an entire second half. That's all of our music history for the week. What happened this week in music that you guys might have missed. And where are we going with music? Where's the future of music? So that's what we're going to talk about. So don't go anywhere. For you guys on the podcast and the YouTube, we literally will be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you again.
Bye.
Thanks.
We have the Queen of Midnight Project members here rocking with us. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
All right, guys. Thank you again for putting up with all of our craziness.
No
Shit.
worries.
Good. Thank you
Good
for having
times.
us.
Thank you. Bye.
All the
Right,
crazy
bye.
stuff. All righty.
And now, on with the show.
And it's on with the show. All right. So, second half of the Sonicsphere podcast. And welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you guys for sticking around. And yeah, let's get into it because we've got a whole another half. It's my hair is doing some crazy things.
It's just the headphones.
Yeah,
They do
crazy
that.
things. Crazy things. It's okay. That's all right. All right. Well, I think it's time for Julie to do your old school of rock and roll so we know what's going on. Music history for the week.
Or what went on anyway.
What happened? What went on? All right.
Tell me when you're ready.
You're ready. Let's do your intro. And Julie, what you got?
Well, we get to kick it off with 1912. I guess that was the year the Titanic sunk too, huh? But it was better for Louis Armstrong, in a way. So he got in trouble during New Year's Eve for firing his stepdad's pistol into the air during a block party in New Orleans. I'm assuming the party was outside. I sure hope so if he was firing a gun. As punishment, he got in trouble with the law, and he was sent to a New Orleans home for troubled boys. And it was a detention center, basically, like a juvie center. But this is also where Armstrong received his first formal music lessons. He had been sent to that house once before as a 9-year-old kid. It was just a tough time there in New Orleans for him. Police had caught him and some other boys pilfering, I guess, some scrap metal from the remains of a burned building. So it wasn't his first trip to the detention center. And as a kid, he also scavenged and delivered coal to earn money and help support his family. So, second round trip to the detention center, he took music lessons. And from January 1913 to June 1914, until he got to come home, he studied under Peter Davis, and he learned the cornet and the bugle there. He eventually became the leader of the home's brass band, which played at parades and parties at public events. And when he paraded through his Rampart Street neighborhood there in New Orleans, all the folks who knew him were so proud of him. They took up a collection to buy new uniforms for the guys in the band. So I guess
That's cool.
1926, 95 years ago today, was when Melody Maker magazine got its start and published its first issue. So that earns its spot in history as the world's oldest weekly music newspaper. It originally cost 3 pence, or like maybe 5 American cents, which is about $5 a day. The publication was for, and I quote, this is their tagline, all who are interested in the production of popular music. The first issue featured dance and band music and the use of ukulele and current music, and how to read music by sight. There was a lesson in there on sight reading. By the 50s, though, Melody Maker was focusing on jazz and was kind of slow to cover the emerging rock and roll scene, and was eventually overtaken by a New Musical Express publication. And Melody Maker's last publication featured Limp Bizkit on the cover. In December of 2000, and then it was purchased and acquired by New Musical Express. But that's a long run there from 26 to 2000.
It's not bad. That's crazy. I didn't know they'd gone that long. So that's
Yeah, it was a long run. They went for like a glossy publication magazine there at the end. Before that was like a newspaper, but just couldn't quite keep up.
Yeah, I wonder if what they got bought out, if that's still around.
Musical Express still exists.
Like if
I know
it's
as an online publication it does. I haven't seen it in print in a while.
Yeah.
1940 was an interesting year for radio because this is an Ascat boycott. So the Ascat Boycott was a boycott of the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers by radio broadcasters because of licensing fees. I guess from another perspective, though, you could say it was a boycott of radio broadcasters by Ascat because they were concerned over unlicensed radio broadcasting of its members' material on the radio. So between 1931 and 1939, ASCAP had just been gradually but pretty significantly increasing royalty rates charged to broadcasters. Some are up to like 448%, which is epic. In 1940, when ASCAP tried to double its license fees yet again, radio broadcasters prepared to resist their demands by enforcing a boycott. And so inaugurating like a competing royalty agency. And so this is when Broadcast Music Inc., or BMI, as we have today, was founded, was because of this, because of the ASCAP boycott. And it's still the largest performing rights organization in the U.S. and one of the largest ones in the world. So for 10 months, lasting from January 1st to October 29th of that year, no music licensed by ASCAP, which is over 1 million songs, like 1.25 million songs, were broadcast on NBC or CBS, our two major radio networks at the time. Instead, the stations played songs in the public domain, so older songs or regional music in styles like rhythm and blues or country that had originally, not been as friendly for radio, but it actually resulted in a lot of more local grassroots artists getting discovered and a lot of classical compositions being redone by popular big bands at the time.
Right.
So they finally settled the differences, though, between ASCAP and BMI. And they agreed to settle for a lower, but still kind of high price, but they were willing to pay it, and radio went back to normal.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't know if radio is really back to normal,
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that too, where it's kind of the rebirth of radio is kind of happening again. And I feel like that goes in cycles a lot too. And then radio, of course, kind of dictates a lot of what we still listen to, though the streaming occur obviously with, Pandora and Spotify has also changed how we consume music. Yeah. So interesting.
This week in 1950, Sam Phillips opened the Memphis recording studio service. You would better know it as Sun Records, which is what he named it later, at the spot that it's still at, 706 Union Avenue in Memphis. And that's where he founded his Sun Records label and operated out of there all through the 50s. In addition to musical performances, he recorded events such as weddings and funerals and sold the recordings for business. And prior to Sun Records, Phillips actually worked as a DJ for Muscle Shoals radio station in WLAA. It was an AM radio station. He's an Alabama boy. According to Phillips, he said this in an interview once, the radio station's open format of broadcasting music from both white and black musicians would later inspire him in his work in Memphis. Phillips recorded what is considered the first rock song too. Remember, we can credit him with Rocky 88. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Yep. By 19-year-old Ike Turner and his band, the Delta Cats. And so, in a sense, that's right where rock and roll was born, there in Memphis. From 50 to 54, the Phillips recorded music from black rhythm and blues artists like James Cotton, Rufus Thomas, Roscoe Gordon, Little Milton, Bobby Blue Band, and others. Blues legends like B.B. King and Howlin' Wolf made their first recordings in the studio too. In fact, Phillips deemed Howlin' Wolf his greatest discovery, and he deemed Elvis Presley his second greatest discovery.
Wow,
that's quite a career.
Awesome.
1959, this was the week that Johnny Cash played a free concert for the inmates of San Quentin Prison in California. This isn't the Folsom Prison that you see in the movie that we all kind of remember. He played more than one prison show. This was in Quentin, and guess who was in the audience? It was Merle Haggard. He was doing what was supposed to be a 15-year stint for Grand Theft Auto. He didn't even quite serve three though. They let him out. But the impression that Cash made on Merle Haggard made him decide to, I guess, pursue a bit more of an honest living when he got out. In an interview later, he said of seeing Johnny Cash that day, he had the right attitude. He chewed gum. He looked arrogant, and he flipped the bird to the guards. He did everything the prisoners wanted to do. He was a mean mother from the South who was there because he loved us. And when he walked away, everyone in that place had become a Johnny Cash fan.
There you go.
Must have been a performance.
I mean, it's Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm. It was this week in '64 that Top of the Pops in the UK aired for the very first time. Do you know who their first guest was? It's the Rolling Stones. They were also followed by Dusty Springfield and the Dave Clark Five and the Hollies, and that was their debut album.
I was gonna
mhm.
say the Hollies was probably gonna be my guess. But,
Yeah, well, they were on there too. I guess the Stones headline, but the Hollies were there too.
Okay.
And then the show was completed with some film pieces of Cliff Richards in the Shadows and Freddie and the Dreamers. But they weren't there on set. Also with the clip from the Beatles, who played the Weeks Number One, I Want to Hold Your Hand. They weren't in studio though. The acts originally had to lip sync. They didn't have the ability to broadcast it live. They actually did this in a basement of a church in Manchester.
Yeah. And it was off or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
It was
There's a whole story with
pretty crazy looking, but I mean, it was 64. I mean, it was just I don't think people minded too much. And they aired their first show on New Year's Day, and that show ran until 2006. Their last guest was Snow Patrol in July of 2006.
Wow. Well, real quick, Mark Cook asked if I've been to Sun Records, and I have not.
We should go. It's pretty cool.
I actually would love to, definitely. But yes, Beatles, not my fave, Mark. Good try.
He's gonna get you to love the Beatles one day. So it was also in 64 that the Hollies had their debut album. Remember, they were a London favorite, Stay with the Hollies, and they made their debut on Top of the Pops that night on New Year's Day. 1967, this is something I mentioned earlier, Sonny and Cher were barred from the Rose Bowl parade in Pasadena, California for their support of the Sunset Strip rioters. Sometimes the papers called them the Hippie Riots. But basically what happened is after a lot of pressure from local businesses and people who had some money in Hollywood about the youth that were out in the streets late at night doing things they thought they ought not be doing, so it was time for the city of Hollywood and law enforcement to do something about it. And so a strict 10 p.m. curfew was imposed with some really harsh loitering laws to get the younger people out of the streets that were going to clubs and drinking and doing drugs and having long hair and all that sort of stuff.
Those rock and rollers.
Yeah. So tensions between youth and law enforcement kept building, and I guess the voices kept buzzing, and no one really knows who was responsible. A protest on the Strip was organized for the night of November 12th. Flyers were circulated, put on the telephone poles, passed out, and all that. Among the people present were Jack Nicholson, Peter Fonda, and Sonny Bono and Cher. They were just some of the youths that were involved in the protests. About 1,000 kids or young people were there on that first night. And the riots continued nightly after that, through November and December, all through the holidays. They came back every night. They were peaceful protests for the most part. Nobody really got hurt. Some people did get arrested. But it didn't cease. Sonny and Cher had gotten their start on the Strip as Caesar and Cleo. That was their name. At the Pandora's Box. And so at the night of the protest, they made an appearance in front of Pandora's Box in December. And this clip made it on the news and it was seen. And then ensuing publicity got them kicked out of the Rose Bowl parade of the float that they were supposed to be on 2 weeks later.
That's crazy.
I guess the city of Monterey Park, the sponsor of the parade, thought it just wasn't going to be a good idea to have them there.
Wasn't going to be a good, wholesome show.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was not the image they wanted to show. And Sonny Bono said later about it, he says, well, I have to admit, we were somewhat hurt and shocked a little and a little upset. He said that he never received word, like never got a letter, never got a phone call or anything like that to tell them they'd been kicked out. They heard that they'd been kicked out on the news.
Oh, that's like getting the email.
Yeah.
Oh.
But some cool stuff came from those. Those riots actually inspired some cool songs. For what it's worth, Buffalo Springfield was actually about those songs. Plastic People, Frank Zappa, about those protests. Daily, Nightly, The Monkees, about those protests. Safe in My Garden, The Mamas and the Papas, also written about that, as well as Joni Mitchell's California. So it inspired some music there for sure.
Yep, it usually does, man. We'll see. I'm curious to see if everything that's been going on, in 2020 inspires.
I absolutely believe it will.
So
I think
I'm
we'll be
waiting to
seeing
see
it.
what comes out. Yeah. There's already, we talked a couple, right? So there's been a few that we've talked about where, like Dave Grohl has done a couple. We've talked about that. Last show, where we review the 12 things that didn't suck coming out of 2020. We talked about that a little bit. Yep.
I think
For
we'll be
sure.
seeing it.
All right. You got, what else you got, Julie?
1974, having just lost their guitarist Bob Welch, Fleetwood Mac made an offer to Lindsey Buckingham. But he said that he came as a package deal with his girlfriend, Stevie Nicks.
Well,
And the rest is history.
yeah. They got lucky on that one.
Well, it was Christmas for me last week because in 1975, Steve Harris formed Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
After becoming kind of frustrated with the lack of enthusiasm for his original works and his current band, and I think the one before that as well, he invited Dave Sullivan on guitar, Terry Rance also on guitar, and Ron Matthews on drums, and Paul Day on vocals. They'd all met in prior projects to form Iron Maiden with him. Dave Murray, that we know now, joined a little later in 1976, which Murray and Harris formed the core of Iron Maiden that we know. And like a lot of bands, I mean, the membership is a revolving door unless you're Aerosmith and you stay together forever.
I was to say, a few bands.
Yeah,
Few bands
stay
original
together
lineup
like that.
class. Yep.
But that's where Iron Maiden got its start. Harris actually said he got the idea, the name of the band, from the film adaptation of Man the Iron Mask.
Huh.
And that got his imagination going. And when he went to Bill and for their first show, they found out there was another Iron Maiden in town. So we got their phone number, and he said he just called them up and told them to bugger off. And they did. I guess he scared them, or they weren't that serious about it, and they just let him have the name, maybe.
Oh, wow. That's lucky.
Yeah, because it's a great name.
Yeah.
So this week didn't really bring us a lot of album releases, being right after Christmas. People are trying to push out before that, really. But this did give us a 38 special, Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, which, of course, brought us Hold On Loosely. And it was their first platinum-selling album. It's a good album.
That's a good one, yeah.
And it also gave us Judas Priest, Defenders of the
I was
Faith.
going to say, I know Judas Priest.
Mhm.
We got one of those.
Their 9th studio album. And, of course, platinum album. It gave us Free Will Burning and some Heads Are Gonna Roll and Love Bites and Eat Me Alive. And so Eat Me Alive, they got a little tiffed with the Parents Music Resource Center because it was on the Filthy 15. For the most objectionable songs that parents could let their children hear. And Tipper Gore got it back, though, because they, in their follow-up album, Turbo, they wrote a song for Tipper Gore called Parental Guidance. That's all for her, and you can check that out, too.
Keep going. I got to find a battery.
Patch said he put it... Okay. 2001, Dave Matthews Band became the first major artist to release a song on Napster. When I did it, it debuts as a controversial file sharing platform. But Dave Matthews said he didn't really see the sense in fighting something that's inedible because it was the future. He said he didn't feel like he was in a position to be ripped off by Napster in any way. I wonder if he says the same thing now, though. And of course, this week, today, we also had another kind of devastating loss in the musical community with the loss of Alexi. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But also this week, we lost Lemmy in 2015 from cancer. And what a career. That's all you can really say about that guy. He began playing in 1964 in his native Blackpool, England, with the Rowdy Rockin' Vickers, and he had a near mythical stint as a roadie for Jimi Hendrix shortly before joining his first professional outfit, the prog rock band Hawkwind. And Lemmy had never picked up a bass before joining Hawkwind. His time is marked by a divine melodic sense and just really awesome chordal support on the bass, almost playing it as if it were a guitar. particularly on albums like Warrior and Edge of Time. He was fired in 75 after being arrested and candid on some drug charges, though. And since they wouldn't let him back into the band, he formed his own band, and that's where Motorhead comes from.
Well,
And shortly thereafter, released a few albums and released an album pretty much every other year for their 40-year career, giving us 22 albums. And where would we be without him?
that's funny, man. Yep. Well, that happens. Happens a lot. So that's awesome. And so we've got Motorhead, of course, and this is on the heels of losing, it was earlier in the year, but it was kind of, the world was let known about it, of course. The passing of Alexi, Laiho, passed away recently, of Children of Bodom, of course, frontman and guitar man.
I think it came across my Twitter feed about 10:30 this morning. That's when I first saw it.
So definitely hits me hard for sure. Got really big into the Gothenburg sound for a while. Definitely with dark tranquility, kind of starting it off for me, and then of course In Flames, and that kind of proceeded into Children of Bodom, who came out and kind of just blew me away. Like, took that sound, just ran with it, and just the amount of youth, and man, did he look good. I had a crush on him for sure. But his playing, the guitar playing, man, easily one of my top 3. So trying not to cry right now. It's been a crazy day. It's been really hard to wake up. Is my audio? Okay, there we are. All right, a little delayed. Okay, there we go. And on top of all the tech stuff, it's been fun, actually. I mean, so tonight we remember him. Life of the Times, of course, passed away in Helsinki over Finland, and to long-term health issues is what they're saying. They're not saying the exact cause of death, but he did have a couple things going on health. Sure. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So that was hard, of course. Lots of people weighing in, a lot of bands weighing in, a lot of big names weighing in on what they did for him, what they've done for the scene, what they've done for just developing pretty much what we know as the melodic death metal. So sad day, very sad day for me, very sad day for the world of music. And so I'm gonna actually move on so that I don't cry in the middle of the podcast. And we're gonna move on to Metallica, of course. So very excited about this part. Metallica coming out with a new album. So the Lars, of course, went on and talked and interviewed, and he said that this album is going to be the hardest Metallica album to date. So very excited about that.
Well,
what does that mean? I mean, hard, probably not faster. I don't know. I'm very excited. We'll see what happens, of course. And they're supposed to return to the stage too, 2021. And yeah, looking at a new album at the same time. So we're going to do new album tour. Very excited. And he also said it was the coolest. So I'm very excited. So he's not even kidding. Ready to rock. And I think it's a follow-up, of course, 2016 Hardwired to Self-Destruct. It's a follow-up to that. And they've been doing a bunch of Zoom calls, talking together, getting creative on that. By the end of summer, they had a bunch of new material that they shared together. And in an episode of new issue of Classic Rock, he basically said that this was, all kidding aside, it wasn't because we thought that it was the best record still ahead of us, then why keep doing it? And he added, he said he can't imagine never making more records and stop making more records. So there you go. The guys are still doing it.
Doing what they were born to do.
Yep. So I'm excited. So hopefully we got AC/DC, we got Metallica coming back, hitting the stages. Hopefully next year,
Ozzy says he's doing it.
This year, Ozzy. This year. I have to get used to saying that.
This year.
This year, that's right. Excited. Alrighty. And also we have vinyl. Vinyl had its best sales
Ever, right?
Ever.
Like in the history of ever?
Broke records, yeah, ever. So this is the week before Christmas even. So a lot of people got
Records for
presents.
Christmas.
Records for Christmas. And, they had a good 2020 at least. Somebody did. So that's great. They come back, of course, in the last 10 years. So they begin tracking the sales of this stuff again back in 1991. So this is since then. Billboard since reported, this is an official tally, which was provided by a long-term sales tracker, so that 1.842 million units moved immediately right before Christmas for the week of December 24th, ending on December 24th, of course. So this had beat the earlier record of 1.445 million. So that's a pretty big jump. So that's 1.8 is the new record, and it was 1.4 million. So big stuff with that. And that was just the week before.
We'll see what this year brings.
Yeah. So 2 record selling figures put back to back for the runners. I'm excited to see. Yeah. So what's going to happen for vinyl in 2021? I'm excited. And it outsold the CD, which is not too unexpected, but considering, vinyl now is outselling CDs. So that's pretty big. So it's only since 1991, this is only the 4th time vinyl sales have ever outpaced the CD sales over 1 week, this 1 week period. And the three previous instances had occurred all within the same year, 2020. So they go, it was a great year for them. So despite everything that's going on, this music industry stopping, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, vinyl sales for AC/DC albums, Power Up. It's number 1 and number 1 album. Of course, McCartney 3 set a record for the 3rd largest sales in a week in vinyl history. And that was at 32,000 copies sold. That's a lot of vinyl.
That's a lot of records.
That's a lot of vinyl, Mumwood. Yes. All right. So another exciting news is that more music is coming out than ever before, right? So a lot of these got a lot of bands coming out, putting out a lot of new music. So you can actually go and see a full list online. You can go to loudwire.com, and it's got all of your dates. I don't know why I sound so Southern tonight, but go to loudwire.com, and they're going to keep up with it. It's a full list, but I'm just going to go through some of the ones that I was like, yes, super excited about. Of course, today, Def Leppard announced that they're basically launching a virtual vault that's going to cover their entire history.
Really?
Yes. So later in this month, Def Leppard will unleash a virtual chronicle of their whole history as a band. And It sounds so southern on this. I don't know where this is really weird.
History or hysteria?
It's
Def Leppard.
hysteria. Yes. Yeah. So all the materials in the vault are selected from and then going to be expanded upon about each of the band members themselves.
Cool.
So yeah, it's even more. It's a first ever collection of the band's artifacts and related stories curated from and told by Joe, Sav, Rick, Phil, and Viv. So they're gonna talk about it. It's what the archive says basically, and it will serve as basically a full like a museum. Like you can go see this as in a museum. It's fully curated. Very cool. Includes a couple different installations from fans, where fans can gather and see everything since 1977, all the way to now. So that's a lot. Cassettes from back in the day, vinyl press cuttings, CDs of unreleased songs, and some rough idea recordings. All that stuff's going to be there. And he also adds there's some wonderful stuff in there and stuff they've forgotten about. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. So very excited. The group, of course, was supposed to tour in 2020 with Motley Crue. That didn't happen. It was postponed. Now it's rescheduled for this summer. So Motley Crue, Def Leppard. The vault itself opens on January 13th. You don't have to wait that long. It's going to come out. And you sign up at leopardvault.com. And you get a code, you register, and the online archive by that date, and you get a special welcome message and all that good stuff. So you have to go online and do it. It's virtual, but
Cool.
It's an entire vault covering the entire history of Def Leppard. Very cool. All right, so some other dates coming out for you guys. January 22nd, Kicking Valentina, of course, are going to be coming out with the Revenge of Rock on Mighty Records. That's going to be coming out. Same day, Nervosa is going to be coming out on Perpetual Chaos, and that's, of course, with Napalm Records. So very excited about that. February 5th, Cult of Luna, one of my favorite bands. The Raging River EP is going to come out by Red Creek. Corpiolani, one of my favorite bands as well, coming out. Nuclear Blast, February 5th as well. There you go. February 12th, Dio fans out there, guys. You guys are going to get two things. One, Evil or Divine, live in New York City. It's a re-release. You're also going to get Dio live re-release. So Dio Holy Diver.
Holy Diver.
Holy Diver live re-release. There we go. All right. And then also the Pretty Reckless, Death by Rock and Roll. It's going to come out on Fearless Records that same day. So you got a lot of stuff coming out. Lots of metal. All right. February 26th, Alice Cooper coming out with Detroit Stories. Epica coming out with their new album, Omega, Nuclear Blast. And, of course, you got Creator, Under the Guillotine. It's a box set coming out from Noise Records. Pretty excited. All right, March 5th. Am I there? Nope. All right, March 5th. Day to Remember. You're Welcome. It's coming out, Fueled by Ramen. Oh, and here we go, guys. Insane Clown Posse is coming out with some stuff. Yeah, that's right. So they're coming out with Yum Yum Bedlam.
How do you say
I
it?
keep going in and out. Yeah. All right. Yum Yum Bedlam. So they're coming out on Psychopathic Records. All right. So March 12th. I love the title of this, by the way. Rob Zombie coming out with the Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a good classic Rob Zombie. That's on Nuclear Blast. March 19th, I've got Papa Roach, Greatest Hits. For you guys that are into Papa Roach, Greatest Hits, number 2, The Better Noise Years. There you go. All right, March 26th, for all my Amy Leafy fans, you've got Evanescence coming out with The Bitter Truth on BMG. All right, last one. We talked about this before earlier. Now we have a date, April 16th, Greta Van Fleet coming out with The Battle of the Garden's Gate. And that's coming out on Lava Republic Records. So lots of new music. That's just the start. Lots more coming at you guys. We'll let you know. All right. So the final little bit is looking at where music in the future come together. Where is music going in the future? Usually we cover tech. Tonight, we're going to talk about...
We're not going to say that word tonight.
Tonight.
No, tech.
We're not. So that's right. We're not talking about tech. Tech's out tonight. That's right. You tech gods. I'm not talking about you tonight. We're not giving you nothing. All right. So, Kiss recently, of course, broke 2 world records. All right. And of course, Gene Simmons went on and further said and reiterated basically that he felt that rock was dead. So we're going to go through that because we talked about that too, right? We just talked about how it's kind of the renewal of rock and metal for 2020. I feel like it's starting to really come back. And it's kind of been given a platform, especially with the award shows. So it's very interesting to hear Gene Simmons from Kiss, of course, saying this again. All right, so they did 2 shows, Record Setters. They did a New Year Eve shows. Kiss played their final show of the year. It was a massive event over in Dubai, and they broke the Guinness World Book of World Records. So 2 separate world records they said it's been confirmed. Separately, of course, though, Gene kind of doubled down on his idea that rock is dead. So the Kiss 2020 Goodbye live stream features $1 million worth of pyrotechnic effects. Considering that that was one of the records, was centered basically around the use of flaming spectacles. And it appeared that they spent the money well because they've got that record. So they spent the most on pyrotechnics ever. So it's 35 meters. It's nearly 115 feet for you guys. And the most flame projections launched simultaneously during a music concert. That was this specific.
Did they say how many?
There. 73.
At one time.
The one time.
Simultaneous.
Yep. So they got that one. And then, of course, they did a kind of I'm frozen. Hello.
Oh.
There, man. All right. So in total, the band spent $10 million on concert production and utilized more than 50 4K cameras and the 360-degree views on the concert. And they played on this huge 250-foot stage. Yeah. It was a lot of things going on with that. Of course, Kiss, they do that. They do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it bigger.
If they're going to do it, they're going to do it, or they won't do it at all. Yeah.
They're going to break records, spend a lot of money. All right. So meanwhile, there was an interview done with Golf News. It kind of predated the New Year's dates and festivals. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were asked about the idea, whether they thought rock was dead. And so, basically, the Stanley argued that only music that consistently sells out concerts on a large scale is rock and roll, and that modern act I mean, they do it well. And he said, I bet the farm, so to speak, that Led Zeppelin will outlast anything that has the number one record today. Okay.
Are we back?
I think so. Huh. We're not on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Zoom. Oh, internet. Oh, all this stuff. Oh, my goodness. All right, so bear with us. Again, let's try to work through what we got going on. We're up and down. Oh, goodness.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, see, I can't go here and do the other thing. Oof. Okay. All right. One more time. Ooh. No. All right. Well, we're just going to complete it like this. Up and down. We're almost done.
We're a totem pole
Anyways.
now.
We're a totem pole. We're up and down.
Am I like
Okay.
the thing with the wings on the top? Can I be that thing? Cool.
You are. Yeah.
I'm the
You're on top.
Thunderbird.
You're on top. We're just going to rock it. We're almost done anyways. Yeah. So, yeah, basically he said that, that Led Zeppelin, who isn't obviously putting out albums anymore right now, is going to outlast anything that somebody new would put out now. And that's his argument. And
Those
he
are some very
basically said,
haunting words, but somebody's going to say challenge accepted, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of the idea of kind of the doubt of the enduring legacy of what's considered like a modern megastar.
Mhm.
Because new bands, he says, has not taken the time to create glamour, excitement, or anything exciting.
So he thinks new bands aren't the total package that Kiss was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He claims that, basically that the likes of like Elvis, Beatles, Hendrix, Stones, AC/DC, Kiss, of course, but even like Madonna, within the disco and the Motown music scene. So, I mean, like 30 years, and he asks, tell me what the new Beatles is. Can somebody tell me now who is the new Beatles?
I get what he's asking because, I mean, we're all musicians, but how many people could really say I'm also a performer and an entertainer? And I think maybe that's what he's probably trying to get at.
Right. Instead of just writing music and just dumping it out there, but like actually creating a full production, putting the money into it, putting the time into it, and kind of developing an image, a show, everything that goes along with it. Part of that is, I think, money somewhat. There's not record companies
willing to dump money into this.
That.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit of that's that maybe. Somebody can argue me that. But, so it's harder because as an independent artist, you have to come up with these thousands and thousands of dollars to do this. Or something, I don't know. So how are you going to get out there? How are you going to build that? So I've seen local bands, a lot of regional bands and whatnot, that new bands who have started to develop this idea of this. And I think in the last 2 years, 3 years, probably, where it's not just enough to go out, play a good show, or not just enough to be the best you can at your instrument. And it's not even just best enough that you can play all of the instruments or do everything. It's like you have to go beyond that. And beyond that, to me, is that entire idea that he's talking about, which is, building the legacy. So, also there's the whole thing about how often people put music out.
Mhm.
How often are we creating things? And, it's kind of also how things are consumed. I think that's changed.
Very much so.
So I think it's honestly gone to music videos and YouTube versus like trying to produce a show with pyrotechnics that cost you 1 million with 73 whatever missiles flying into the air. I mean, so I think there's a little bit of that. He just says, people can't really name the new Beatles. So I think on that thing is like, who is changing the sound? Who is that trendsetter?
Yeah, I was about to say who's changing the sound, but who's also captivating the audience in the way that the Beatles did, or Elvis, or whoever, or Led Zeppelin at the time, who's
'Cause I think
just
it's a
seizing
total
everyone's
package.
attention.
Yeah, so a total package. So it's not about, it's the image and what are you selling as a complete package or something that's totally new, but you're still giving them that whole package. I don't know. It's interesting. So in some ways, I kind of agree.
Mhm.
In some ways, I want to fight that. So yeah. So there's a lot of bands, he says, that are very popular, but it doesn't mean that they're iconic or legendary or they have a legacy. So yeah. I mean, in some ways, I agree.
Staying power.
Yeah, some ways I agree. And again, it could be that how we consume things. We're not consuming albums or consuming a song that's less than 3 minutes. Can you build a legacy with that? That's the question for you guys out there. That's what we got to figure out, right? Yeah, and he's also talking about people not playing actual instruments. I don't know if I agree with that per se. I do think that people are getting back into playing actual instruments.
I think they are too.
I think that's coming back. So I don't know if you necessarily have to play an instrument per se to have a legacy, but maybe it's a different kind. So that's interesting. He talks about a lot of people don't even write their own songs. And there's a little bit of that.
Well, that's been going on time out of mind as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Elvis did write his own songs, so.
Right. So then again, I mean, yeah. And then of course you've got, that they don't write words. He says they don't write chords, melodies, harmonies, all that stuff. And that for him, that's super important. And that's what makes the Beatles and what they are. So, something to think on. Yeah, so very interesting. So when he was kind of pressed about some of the pop singers that are big right now, Aria, of course, Post Malone, Lady Gaga, and he's like, I love all the pop stars, but he agrees, Billie Eilish, of course, is fantastic. But I think for him, it's because she actually writes and performs all of those songs. It's just her and her brother.
Elton John said that about her too, that she makes very complex arrangements, which is really kind of lacking in other arenas at the moment.
Yeah.
So
maybe she's building that legacy that we're talking about. And in some ways, I think she is, so there you go. She doesn't exactly play an instrument though. I mean, so there's
not an Ella Fitzgerald, but she was still a musician, I think. I mean, being a true vocalist, she could hear.
Yeah. So I don't know, interesting. We'll see where rock and metal goes for 2021 and beyond. Yeah, that's that. I'm going to leave you with that. Any parting thoughts, Julie?
On what he said?
Just a general, and before we close it out. Oof, my computer is like, I don't know.
Well, it made us into a totem pole already, so I really don't know what it's doing now.
It is literally flashing, freaking out. I have this little screen that keeps coming up. It's got like a little thing on it. I wonder if it's like hacked or something. I don't know. All right, so
Let's take it to the hospital.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna end tonight of the Sonic Sphere podcast, episode number 36. Thank you guys for handling and dealing all of our craziness and shenanigans and tech problems.
We'll rub this place down with some sage for next week.
That's it. Exactly. So next week we'll be back on next Monday. And I don't have my calendar because my phone is freaking out. But we'll post that. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. We got our YouTube channel.
I think
subscribe there.
Andy Lecty's next week, isn't he?
Yeah, I think
Yes, it is.
yep, I think you're right. Yeah. So
Yep.
Andy, so very exciting. We're gonna bring Andy on. We're gonna talk about open mics, open jams, how to run them, where he all got started, all those fun things, what it takes. I'm so excited about that. And yeah, we'll rock and roll. Have a good week, everybody. We appreciate you guys. And as we always say, be good, be nice,
And we'll see you at the top.
and we'll see you at the top.